all the personalization that you can do, you can add in, in the appropriate place. The reason why in this type of a trust we give the notice to the beneficiaries and actually give them that certificate is so that you can create the documentation. Like I said, if the IRS or the government or a judge, wherever, were to say, well, let me see proof that you are a trustee of this trust. This is a government-owned, this is a U.S. citizen trust, right? If they were to ever go that angle with you, you can prove to them all the elements of a trust exist. And you've got that green card, you've got the certified mail delivery of this notice with the abstract of trust, 3 pages, 2-3 pages, and the certificate unit. Where'd it go? Oh, where's that certificate unit? This one, here you go. Right? You've got proof that you delivered this, that this is signed by both parties. You've got a copy. You've got your registry of that in here by the secretary, right? So, and you sent it to them. So that's why in this one I am very keen on sending it and letting them know for sure, and keeping your copies of what was sent. Do you want to even have a third-party witness, another really close, trusted friend, be a third-party witness that signs an affidavit of service and an affidavit of non-response that they didn't respond, refute, or return the trust certificates? That's another option. I think that's a little bit overkill. We've never really seen people, requiring to show that much diligence and proof. You could send it personally yourself and just keep the certified mail and have the photocopies. But, if you want the 2 trustees, go to the post office and mail it together, seal the envelope so that you have your second witness who is also your second trustee that can affirm to the fact that you did deliver the trust certificate units to the beneficiaries, then that's good. And again, the reason why was, even if because you're probably going to send this to your children or something, so, or really close friends or whatever, but, or charity or something like that, your church, whatever, I would not hand it to them. I would definitely do it through the mail so you can have that documentation that it was mailed, delivered, signed for, certified mail, all that stuff, okay? So I hope that answers your question about, do they have to know about being a beneficiary? Not in a typical trust, but in this one, I want all the documentation that I need to really restructure this trust and have all the proof that I'm not the beneficiary, that I'm the trustee. People in the status correction course will have access to all the forms and templates. Belinda. This free webinar just really benefited not only me, but you guys, because I went around you guys only taking what was free because I didn't think the money asked for was nowhere near worth it. But I have to say, I will be paying or donating. Wow, okay. Well, there you go. Appreciate it. We don't, I mean, it's likely that might happen, but we really want to be giving people a taste of understand contract law behind the scenes. It is hard for people to, drop a good chunk of money, hundreds of dollars or, or more, if they don't really know the level of attention to detail and the level of 7-day-a-week dedication to improving the documents, making it easy for people, giving clear instructions, and so on and so forth. So yeah, but we also want to create a community where a lot of people ask questions, and we do give a great portion of this material out there for free. We do need to support our soon-to-be ministry and pay its bills and stay out of the red, and fund new projects and things as well. So we appreciate the contributions. But if you guys have an emergency issue that's life or death, we do help people pro bono if you have an emergency situation that is life or death, like we do. We do help depending on our time. What projects we're working on and stuff. Our goal is to be able to help people for free in criminal situations and things like that. As a lot more, but you gotta pay for the roof over the organization's head, first and foremost. Otherwise, we can't do that stuff. So, when you open a bank account for the trust, does it have to be business or personal? It's a trust. It's not a business, and it's not personal. If you were to break it down, it would go under the category of a business, but you have to be, it's a specific, you know, they're going to say, is it personal or business account? You're going to say, well, it's a trust account. Okay, so it's kind of, it tips more to the category of being a business account. So you would talk to the business account banker and so forth, but it's not a corporation, it's a trust. Okay, and not all banks will open that up. Okay, but this trust will not accumulate assets. It may, you can choose to do that, but we recommend not to use this one. This is more of a business trust discussion. Yeah, you could set up a separate business trust as well. It's very similar to this one. Again, once you learn this one, I know it's a lot, but once you go through this once and you learn this, it was a lot for me to learn this over the last, you know, year or two on and off, you know, learning different things about this. But you really pick it up, and once you learn this once, it's the same thing. You make slightly different edits to the declaration of trust based on what kind of trust it is. And you know what bank accounts are going to open up an account for you. You know how to go on the IRS website and get an EIN number, whether it's a 47 or a 98 or whatever you want, whatever category it's classified as. You make that legal determination yourself or with competent legal advice, counsel advice. But we have a step-by-step of actually going to irs.gov and then walking through and getting an EIN number. So that's another product that, or another, you know, walking people through who have not done that. And then there's a step-by-step, like a cheat sheet on how to get the EIN for this kind of a trust or a different kind of a trust. So that's all included in there. Man, great job, Tyler. Thank you, Charles. Is your screen frozen? GoToWebinar has screen freezes sometimes. I apologize. Trust law is older than corporate law. Yes. Yes. If I have done this process, UCC1 and trust, and the other you bought, is it still possible to continue with what I have done, or do you guys start over with you guys? I don't know if I understand the question. That is process. Can you create a trust based on family member's name and property that is no longer with us? Like, can you create like the Smith family trust? Yeah, you can do something like that. A lot of people do things like that. Property is no longer with us. Well, if you never have title to property, you can't put that property in the trust. So you can't really do that. If you get an EIN, isn't that contracting with the U.S.? Yeah, it is. I think I answered that question a little bit just in the last 10 minutes. It just makes it easier for you to get a bank account, and it enables you to operate in the U.S. If you get a 98 EIN, there are certain restrictions on your activity in the U.S. So you have to be really careful about, you have to be, you know, a little bit more careful. And there's different reporting requirements that a lot of the people that are pushing the 98 EIN or, well, I guess if you get no EIN, that's another scenario. I mean, we discussed these things. We discussed, you know, all the scenarios that you can do and the levels of diligence that you need to do and the levels of responsibility that you need to have at the different levels that you're going to be going at. So just be aware that the 98 EIN, there's a little bit more responsibility, and there are some things that could backfire if you don't take care of them. So we go over that in the course. What countries do you set up our international driver's license and national status? We'll cover that on the status correction course. It's not a country, it's an international agency that issues it. Department of State issues the passport, the national passport. W8BEN is a form we want you to understand before you fill it out. We go over and read the form and help you to understand it before, or we help you to understand it or overstand it. We actually read the instructions with you. 98 EIN is just for limited express trust. We seem to drift into business trust versus single one purpose. What about not-for-profits? 50 states are foreign to the Fed, U.S., the territory. I heard in the earlier audios 98 EIN foreign trust was good for this trust. Blind. Oh, that's a very good point, Andrew, at 12:14, 10 minutes ago. I really appreciate that, Andrew. A blind trust where the beneficiary is a blind beneficiary is what most people are as, quote, persons. I would agree 100%. I've never, I would agree. That makes perfect sense. So what you've been doing your whole life, or your family that are not into this stuff, you're walking around with your name, John Henry Doe, all caps. Now we know that that's not you. That's the, that's a vessel, but that is the beneficiary. It's a blind beneficiary. They've never given you a certificate. They've never given you a notice that you're the beneficiary. I would say that that's mostly true. Again, it's a constructive trust, so they don't necessarily have to, but it's kind of what it is. It's a constructive trust. You could say, it's fraudulent because there hasn't been a meeting of the minds, but it's constructive because, let me give you one other example. You go into a restaurant, you sit down, you order food on the menu, and you walk out without paying for the food. Now, you never had a meeting of the minds. You never signed an express contract like the Declaration of Trust with the restaurant owner saying that you were going to pay for the food at the end of the meal. But it's a constructive contract that you will pay the bill at the end of the meal. And it's not fraud because you got consideration. You got the food. You don't just go into a restaurant, eat food, and expect that it's free unless they specifically say you're exempt from paying. Oh, this is just free chips and salsa. Yeah, you can sit in here and drink our water. Oh, yeah, we're having a happy hour, and chips and salsa are free. You can just hang out in here. There's no charge. So unless they expressly tell you otherwise, if you're given consideration, there's a duty and obligation, or there's a trust at play. Okay? And it doesn't need to be a meeting of the minds to the extent of having a signed contract between two parties, with witnesses and, something like this here. Okay? So that is a very cool point, that we are blind beneficiaries of the straw man trust, and we don't even know it. We can't see the screen. Oh, okay. Well, no one else says that they can't see the screen. I apologize. We're going to be, when some extra funds come in, we have it in our budget to upgrade to a better webinar service. Honestly, right now I'm using the free. The reason why it got cut off at 100 is because we're using the free GoToWebinar, and the free version, like basically you create a free trial for 30 days and then you don't pay for it, and then you open up another free trial with a different email address, and you keep doing that every 30 days, and you never have to pay for it. Otherwise, it's $99 a month. Okay, so our organization doesn't make enough money that has that budget right now. We're working on getting to pay for a webinar program. Okay, there's other ways that the money is more better spent in our organization. Whereas if we can just get a free webinar, but now since we're having 80 people that couldn't get on the webinar, we're going to have to pay for it. I'm going to have to convince the the board to vote on that. So that the quality, if it keeps cutting out, if the audio keeps cutting out, it won't happen. We're going to upgrade to a better webinar program. So just hang tight for next time. And any material that you miss, we're going to go over. We're going to go over. It's going to be detailed in the products. It's going to be detailed in the status course. So, just bear with us. What about using notary publics? How do you use the services in this process? Are they necessary? Notary publics are just to witness signatures. If you ever want that signature, to be on its face, completely acknowledged and respected by the United States, like a judge that, like in a courtroom, if you want it to be, in other words, if it might be contested or if it's a really important document or an affidavit, you may want to put that jurat on the bottom. I'm going to try to see which of these documents has a jurat on the bottom. Most of them do not. The security agreement has a jurat. Okay, see? So you got your signature, the date, and then you've got the state of, you write the state in, the county of the county, and then the notary, it just says subscribe to before me on this blank day of blank 2005, the notary's name, comma, a notary that Mark John Smith personally appeared and known to be the man whose name subscribed to the within instrument acknowledged to be the same. They put their seal, they put their commission expires, they put their stamp on there, boom. Okay, so on its face, that is generally accepted as authentic. that this notary witnessed. This notary is commissioned by the Secretary of State to witness signatures and affirm that that is your signature, the person who signs that, right? So, or the man or woman who signs it. It could be a person or a man or woman, but they're acknowledging that. And if you get authenticated apostille, then it creates irrefutable documentation, and then you can submit it to a court case if necessary. But in this scenario, you're not submitting. This is private documents. But if you needed to prove the existence of the trust, you can redact the document. You can just send the last page, and you've got that date and signature and the date of notarization. This is one of the main documents that proves the security agreement that the living man or woman has taken control of that trust and has a gigantic lien over the trust. And if you just read, if you read through this and you go over the future courses, we're going to go over why that's important and what that effect has. But I'm sure you guys have read about the typical UCC redemption process, and you get the idea kind of what, because there's a lot of people talking about it, but I don't think that it's nearly as complete as what we're putting together. And that was been the drive all of last year, leading up to trying to put all this stuff together, complete, so that people don't have half-ass information and half-ass like 2 or 3 documents that aren't complete enough. So, okay, some people left but said they'll, we will remember them. They will get back with us. You guys have been very generous with the info. Yeah, I'm going on 3.5 hours now. Okay, my trust should focus on this trust. Okay, when are you guys going to stop asking questions so we can end this? Should this type of trust be used for receiving income from real estate rental property? No, that's not really what this is used for. But if you go through and create this is the first trust you want to go through and create, in my opinion. It has many purposes. And then you can use similar documents to create secondary trusts with different parties on it. You can't have the same parties for different trusts. If you got the same creator, the same trustee, trustees, same beneficiaries, it's not a different trust. You need to switch it up and make different parties in those different roles. Okay, so you have to pick different people in your life, the relationships and friendships and family that you have in your life that are supportive and loyal and dedicated to you, are one of the most valuable assets that you have. And you can't really go and confidently be creating multiple trusts if you don't really trust anybody. You don't really have family or friends that will be there for you or would like to support you in any way. So, that's just basic success in life skills to, maintain and nurture those relationships. So when you do ask people for help, it's not like you're coming back and being like, oh, I need you to help me for something. For me, so I hope that most people on here don't have a problem finding additional parties to be second trustee, beneficiary, whatever. But if you really, if you live in a small family or you live in a small town and you don't know a lot of people, you can ask us. We wouldn't mind being a protector. Like I said, we also might not mind being a second trustee, depending on if you're supporting our ministry, soon to be ministry, or our organization. If you're offering something like a donation of some kind or something else, we'd be happy to provide for you what you need to fill in. Yeah, join me is okay. Can you repeat how we can make donations? Well, you don't need to make a donation just blindly. You can make donation in exchange for some of the products. So we added a lot of new products. You can also call us at the number, here you go, 505-340-3632. And you can see if you have a need that maybe we can offer something. We have products that teach you how to fix your own credit report. We have a lot of stuff. Letters to get debt collectors to go away. We have a lot of things. So we would love to exchange something in exchange for donations. But if you wish to give a donation, I guess you can do that. You can go to coaching calls and you can just put in a $50 donation or $100 donation. But we'd like for you to get something. So, and you can donate now, and then you can get back with us in the next couple of months or a couple of weeks, and you can use that donation money that you put in there. We will always honor that if you feel like you just want to be generous and not, you're not sure what product you want to get right now. And we'll use that money to pay for the upgrade in the webinar over the next week. And we appreciate it being sent to us up front. And then we promise that we will give you whatever product, whatever service, whatever help, coaching, mentorship, whatever you need, and we will apply the funds on account to exchanging that at the time that you that you call that in. Okay, if that sounds fair. And the status correction course is a significant donation. It's $1,500 donation, but we're offering that we will do your SPC filings. We will actually input into we will get you to input your stuff into these fields, and we will actually send you a template completely filled out with instructions from the during the class as well. So that you're getting for free with a $1,500 donation for the status correction course as well. So so if it is a significant donation because there's a lot of time and effort, and there's multiple trainers, facilitators, and costs and expenses involved. So but that's the price. You did not miss this part. You went through it. Okay, free webinar just really better. Okay, boom, 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 boom. I don't want to keep. Michael, thank you for all the starter info. I look forward to receiving the information tomorrow. I'm going to turn in. Have a good night. Yeah, see, a couple people are saying they're going to turn in, so we should probably wrap up some last few. It's okay to make suggested donations to exchange for expertise. I do it in my ministry. Okay, yeah, exactly. So yeah, so Yolanda already has a ministry, so that's great. And there's a lot of people that just don't know how to set that up. So if people want to set that up, we set that up. I think we do it for like $500. I got to check. It's a new product, so we threw a lot of new products on here last night. So, but if anybody wants to set one of those up, I believe it's around $500 to help you set up your own ministry and give you the detailed instruction. You guys know how detailed I am in making sure you have all the tools. So you can go set up a bank account, and I give you a script, of anything. And if there's something that falls short in one of the products, I will just this is my policy. If there's a product that the products are always a work in progress, right? So if there's some hurdle that you hit in doing something, let me know, and I might even work on it that day if I have the time, because I don't want the next person to have that same hurdle in getting that step done. Okay, so I'm sure you guys can appreciate that. So we're always continuing to make it a smooth process where you guys, you don't buy a product and then everybody calls us to get help because the product is incomplete. That's not giving us the free time to work on other stuff that we want to work on, right? So we always want to make the products as complete, and as time goes on, add in some things. So one quick rundown. What is that? Look for the starter info. Go to bed. Yeah, have a good night. Looking forward to the next seminar. How that benefit me in a court case, and also All right, guys, I'm going to end it. I'm going to stop the recording. Have a great night. See you next week.